Hi, it's Andromeda, and today I'm going to be unboxing all three of my World Entertainment Awards, which I'm super excited about. I did not expect to win any of these. In fact, I had written no notes, no acceptance speeches. I thought for sure there's no chance I would win a single one of these, let alone all three of the awards that I was nominated for. So I'm incredibly humbled, incredibly grateful, and hopefully we'll do a better job talking about my project now than I did stumbling when I was handed these awards at the ceremony. Let's do some story time while we unbox these. I don't know which award is in which box, so let's just get started with this one. From the Earth started with a trip to Iceland, where I got to be really up close and personal with the elements in a way that I had never been before in my life. And I got to see some things that I had never seen before. For example, the Aurora Borealis, which was absolutely stunning. And I got to see it twice, and both times it just felt like a rush of electricity running through my body. Super special. I got to see lava birthing new ground, which was remarkable. The black sand beaches with these violent waves crashing up on the shore. It was just like a visceral reaction that I had to that, as well as hiking 2 hours down inside a melting glacier. And I was so inspired while I was there that I actually wrote the first 2 songs for this suite in my hotel room, like singing voice notes into my cell phone, trying not to wake up my husband while he was sleeping. And then I came back to New York and I was like, well, this is something, I want to do something with this. But I didn't feel like I should be writing an album about Iceland because I'd only been there once. I had no connection to the people or to the culture besides being literally obsessed with Bjork. So I thought, okay, this was really about the environmental connection that I had. So what's going on here in my neck of the woods that I could speak to? Because I have always been very, very concerned about climate change and about environmental justice. Oh my gosh, here's the first one. 2025 World Entertainment Awards, Best Jazz Artist. That's me! This thing is super heavy. I don't know where I'm gonna put these yet. I'm gonna have to build a shelf, maybe? What do you think? Where should I put these? This is so special. First one's open. Let's put it over here. So then I started having this idea to compose a suite of music about the environment, and I started doing research and research and research. And I very quickly realized that here in North America, where I live, and in most of the world, the people who are bearing the brunt of harm due to climate change are also a lot of the same communities that are afflicted by the remnants of systems like redlining and colonization. And so I started just emailing people and emailing organizations and interviewing people and recording the interviews. And that led to the songs that I wrote for this project. And I quickly realized that this was much bigger than anything that I had composed before, and that I would need help and that I would need funding. So I started applying for grants, which I have applied for so many grants in my life, and up until that point had never received a single one. But you never know. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So I applied for grants, and the first grant that I received was the Jazz Roads Creative Residency grant, which was funded by the Doris Duke Foundation with additional funding from the Mellon Foundation. And this gave me the green light to say, all right, finish writing this music. You can do this. Like, you got it. Then I got a second grant from the New York State Council on the Arts, as well as an award from Arts Westchester, which came with funding. And I was able to put all of that together to be able to finish my research, my writing, arranging, scoring, and notating, music directing, conducting, singing, playing crystal bowls of this album. Oh my gosh. This one is Best Social Awareness Song for my song Cryosphere. Okay, wait, I gotta tell you the story about Cryosphere before we open the last box. Cryosphere was the very first song that I wrote for From the Earth, and I wrote it after hiking 2 hours down inside of a melting glacier, and it just felt as if I could feel this overwhelming sense of sadness coming from the glacier, as if it knew it was melting and knew it was meeting its own demise. So I wrote that song from the perspective of the melting glacier, and it's still one of my favorites. And in terms of the harmony and the groove and everything of that song, I wanted it to feel a little gospel inspired, almost like a funeral for the glacier. So that's the BTS of that one. So once I had all of the funding, well, not all of the funding, I still did have to take out a small business loan, which I'm still paying off, but it's been worth it because I just felt really compelled to do this project and to put this into the world. And sometimes you have to just take a risk to make it happen, right? That's what us artists do. And I was so happy to be able to secure some of my favorite musicians to record this with me. Both of my parents are on this album with me, which is really special. And Scott Jacoby produced it, and he was such a dream to work with. And here is the last award rather. If you haven't listened to From the Earth yet, my recommendation is if you're going on a long drive or you're going out for a walk, pop your headphones in and listen to it. It starts with a guided poetry meditation by my godmother, Betty Niels, and then it goes into the suite, which is in 4, well, I always call them concertos. The classical music, people who are very funny about language will argue that it's not a concerto, but it's a suite. Look, if Charlie Parker can say the song Yardbird Suite is a suite, I can call this whatever I want, right? Each of the 4 sections, Earth, Sky, Sea, and Ice, has 3 songs in it. So it is structured very similarly to being 4 concertos, kind of like Vivaldi's 4 Seasons, if you will. Please check it out. Listen to the interview excerpts. And here it is, From the Earth, Best Jazz Album 2025 World Entertainment Awards. Oh my God, I'm gonna need to see my chiropractor. These are so heavy. Okay, wait, let me see if I can get them all in the shot. This is just so unbelievable. Wow. 1, 2, 3. Thank you to the World Entertainment Awards for not only giving me these awards, but for giving me inspiration to keep going and to keep writing the music that compels my heart. Love you guys. Bye.